Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Williams Road to Glory, and we are back for round 2 at the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. You might be wondering, hey Tom, why is Zandvoort round 2? Well, I answer all of your questions in the pre-season episode, and also I'll leave episode 1 along with it linked up here, so go check it out if you haven't done so already. Click the link and let me know what you think. But anyway, round 2, Zandvoort, you know the drill. Let's jump into it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's get into the action. Well, here we are then, back in the office, back in the main menu, and it's your boy Tom97 featuring the birds once again in the background as we pick up where we left off in the last episode, and that is the season break. So after one race, we had a season break after Bahrain, and we're going to go ahead and serve that. We then come back from that break to the let's say the admin work we have pending before today's race, and we're going to go ahead and pretty much just kind of run through this. So we get an upgraded durability spec for one of the factory parts of the team, and also a couple of weekly resource points added to the tally, but we're not going to spend them yet. We're going to wait until the end of the episode to use those. And you can see we are now ready for the next race in Zandvoort, and we've already got pretty much 1600 R&D points, so there's going to be quite a few to spend at the end of the episode, so stay tuned for that as we look at the weather forecast, which this weekend is going to be dry. And then the big news, the R&D graph. Mercedes bring an absolute whopper of an upgrade this weekend. I don't know where they've pulled this from, but they take an absolute monster step in the wrong direction for us as they pull away and make the gap absolutely massive. Red Bull brings some upgrades as well, but the gap stays unchanged. And yeah, just Mercedes really showing why they're the best team and why they're so powerful and so strong. So in order to kind of counteract that, we've already got 1500 points saved up, and we're going to jump into practice to get a couple more. So yeah, we went through practice, went through all the programs, had a decent enough session, scoring over 600 points, which is great. And combined with Russell's, it's going to be nearly 900 R&D points for us, as that takes our total beyond 2.5k. And we can now move into qualifying here at Zandvoort, round number 2 of course, and into Q1 specifically. So let's see how this goes. We're going to have a little bit of fun, and we won this race last season, so I am hopeful for a similar result this year. But after practice, I will admit, it seems like even though the car is a lot quicker this year, we're not actually as competitive as season 2. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully in qualifying we kind of shake it off and get into the rhythm. But in Q1 we go P9 with my first time lap. I wasn't convinced that was going to be enough with a 1 minute 7.4, so I actually fueled for 2 laps. I did a little cool down lap, and then I went again on the exact same set of tyres. And you can see we've got just enough fuel here to finish the lap, as we are currently 3/10 up on my previous best, and we're currently P9, but this lap should be more than enough to see us improve and comfortably move into Q2, and using just 1 set of tyres in this. So as you can see, across the line, 1 minute 7.0, purple in sector 3, and we go P4, and that will be more than enough to see us move comfortably into Q2. So a good start to qualifying, using just the 1 set of tyres. George there, P6 with a 106.9, looking pretty speedy as well, which is great to see. And a Mercedes 1-2 out front with Lance Stroll, the surprise package for the Aston Martin team, in P3. Now we moved to Q2, and I tried my luck on the medium tyres, and I will admit, the lap itself wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. It was actually, you know, quite respectable, but it just in general, the medium just seems to lack a bit of pace and a bit of grip, and yeah, it was always going to be a struggle to get through. I don't think we're quite at that stage yet. We can get through Q2 into Q3 on mediums, but we crossed the line, set a 1 minute 7.6, which is 6/10 slower than our Q1 lap to go through. We went P9 at the time, but eventually got shuffled down to P12, and we need to go again, so we strapped on the soft tyres, and I actually was pretty close to George Russell. And the reason for that is because I wanted to cross the line before the 1 minute 07, so that I would have enough time to do the lap myself, and then have enough time to cross the line and do a manual in lap where I get to control the tyres to avoid adding on extra tyre wear. So I definitely recommend that tip to you guys. If you can, try and, you know, give yourself enough time to get the lap in Q2 done early, so that you can do the in lap yourself, because the game adds a lot of tyre wear on that you don't need. So yeah, we're currently halfway through the lap, and the first sector about to come to a close here, and it's been a pretty decent one so far, 3/10 up currently as we're P12, so we need to improve heading into this tricky section. Probably my worst part of the track, this right and left hander. I just don't quite have the balance through here. I never seem to quite get it right. DRS open though, and we're north of, let's say, 4/10 up as we end sector 2. Absolutely just throwing the car into here. Actually ran a bit deep, over broke, you know, my brake point, and just completely Didn't really hit that curb right into the chicane. But now through the final couple of corners, making sure we don't run out of track limits, of course. Strict corner cutting rules apply for this season. And then DRS as we run up to the line. And it's going to be a 1 minute 6 point, I believe, 9, if I can read that in my preview screen. So, yeah, not bad. We go P3, and it seems like the pace dropped a little bit in Q2 because George Russell scrapes through in P10. And he did a 106.9 in Q1, so George Russell scraping through on pace there, and it seems like just in general, the AI got slower, at least for the most part, except for Bottas, Gasly and Hamilton, who were in a completely different planet. So, yeah, we get through both cars into Q3, happy days, and we now move into said Q3 session. The sun came back out to play again. We've got 2 fresh sets of soft tyres to play with, and this was my first time lap here, as we're going to see what this is like. I made a bit of a mistake in the middle sector, so it wasn't the best lap. It was quite scruffy, and we set a 1 minute 7.1. I had a bit of an issue right at the end of the first sector / start of the second one, so I know there's more time to find, and this lap right here was my best lap of qualifying. So let's send it, let's see what happens. I personally love this lap, so let's enjoy it with some engine sounds. There we go, across the line, purple in sector 3. We improved by the better part of nearly 7/10, and we set a 1 minute 6.4, my best and fastest lap of the weekend by far, and we finish in P4. Meanwhile, George Russell P9, he peaked in Q1, so he did a 106.9 in that session, which would have given him P8, so only 1 place improvement, but still for us it's a second row. And surprisingly, Pierre Gasly was the surprise pole position this weekend for Red Bull, 1 minute 6.1, very quick time, and out qualifying both Mercs. So yeah, overall it's going to be an exciting race, and we're in the mix, which is exactly where we need to be. Hamilton outscores us in the rivalry, but still it's neck and neck heading into the race. But guys, that is going to be it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the race here at the Netherlands for the Dutch Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and Zandvoort, 25 miles away from Amsterdam, and the host for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. Zandvoort circuit, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout a 2.6 mile lap. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Martinez. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Martinez, Max Verstappen, and Stroll, Albon, Leclerc, Russell, and Nick de Vries, Sainz, Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, and Ocon, Magnussen, Kvyat, Lando Norris, and Nobuharu Matsushita. Giovinazzi and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Here we are then, guys, on the grid for the race at the Netherlands. We start from P4 on the grid, second row, and things are looking pretty promising for the race. Pierre Gasly on pole position for the Red Bull team, both Mercs ahead of us, and we're going to see if we can try and disrupt that here today and try to get a result. This was a race that we won last year, but it seems like this year we don't quite have the pace, so it's going to be tricky. Either way, I'm going to try and do my best and see if we can try and secure the win. If not, I'll happily take a podium and just do some damage limitation heading into round 3. But in terms of the strategy today, we're going to start on the soft tyres, of course, that we qualified on in Q2, and we're then going to move on to a set of medium. So a one-stop strategy here today, as always, and if we look at the fuel load, I'm going for 0.5 on the fuel, so not super heavy because I don't think we're going to use a lot of rich mix here today. The main thing of the first stint really is to try and make sure the front left doesn't overheat, which is going to be quite challenging. But besides that, it's going to be an interesting race. You know, Zandvoort hasn't always been the most entertaining in terms of, you know, pure on-track action, but nonetheless, hopefully it's a good one for us in terms of a race result. So let's jump into it and let's see what happens. Okay, here we go. The lights are on. Can we get away off the line well here? Lights down, away we go. Oh, it's not a great start. Trying to make a start here. We're going to get swarmed by multiple cars. I have to be careful. Car to my left, car to my right. Oh, this is going to be so dodgy. I'm going to back out. I don't want to get involved. Oh my god, that was so scary. 3 wide into there. We've lost 2 places though to Verstappen and to Albon, so not ideal. Down to P6 and losing quite a bit off the start there. My starts have been poor, so I'm not entirely surprised, but we've got work to do now. We're going to have to try and fight back. We've got 35 more laps to, you know, make up for that, and I'm confident we will. Verstappen getting a great start in the Ferrari in his home race up to P4. Hopefully he can have a good result for his home fans. Hopefully for us though, we can try and beat him, because I want to try and finish ahead of as many cars as possible here today. I'm not going to rule out the win. I think it's still could be possible, but we're going to have to work quite hard for it. Strategy is going to have to be perfect as we just struggle through there. Just not quite on the pace at the moment as lap 1 draws to a close. We'll see if I can find a bit of consistency, but right now I'm definitely all over the place as we struggle for pace early on. I'm already out of the RS, but I don't think we're going to come under threat from Stroll, so we're going to be okay. So yeah, lap 1 done and dusted, and we've lost 2 places, and we're currently P6 as Albon gets a bit out of shape there out of turn 1. Purple sector 3, only a 10th off Pierre Gasly's race leading pace. He did a 10-minute 0.1. And we're already starting to put some pressure on Alex Albon. Stroll is now a second behind, or over a second, so he's out of the RS range, which is good for us. Now it's all about trying to line up Alex Albon for the overtake, but it seems like we've started to find our pace. Of course, worth noting again, like in race 1, we do have strict corner cutting limits, so got to be careful to not make any mistakes or run off the track, of course. Quite close to Albon this lap. Unfortunately, he does have DRS on Verstappen. Speaking of Max, he's actually, I believe, dropped out of DRS range of the cars ahead, so bit of a break up on the DRS train, and the front 3 is starting to pull away, so Max can't quite match the pace. So we might see this battle here of 3 cars start to open up as well. So far, so good. Front left, I'm keeping it well under control. I'm trying to not lock up and keep the tyre alive as long as possible. Oh, Albon gets out of shape through there. He's wobbled. Can we have a look? Not quite. Don't really have any space. The track is so narrow. Just had to back off there. But Albon making a slight error. I'm all over his gearbox though. I'm definitely quicker, at least for P4. Hopefully we'll get him soon. Oops, that's my first warning. Bit too aggressive over that curb. I'm getting a bit frustrated because I want to get this overtake done on Alex. That was nice through that. Getting the power down super early. Gonna tuck into the slipstream here. Can we get past? Do we have enough straight line speed for this? Not really. I'm not really making a dent, but I'm gonna try it around the outside of Verstappen. Locks up. Having a look. Still can't quite get it. Admittedly, I was using lean mix through there. This is frustrating though. It's so hard to pass around this track. It really is. Okay, I'm a little bit closer this time. Albon doesn't have as much of a slipstream on Verstappen as the past few laps. This could be the one. Down the inside. Come on. Yes, get in there. Nice. Nice move on the brakes. And now Verstappen will be a lot easier to pass because he doesn't have DRS on anybody. So let's line him up for the next lap on the pit straight. And there we go, we finally made some progress. Right, let's get Max through here, easy does it. Keep it nice and tidy, and now we can line him up for the pass. The Ferrari also isn't the best car on the straight, so this should be pretty straightforward, like taking candy from a baby, and there we go, up to P4. And into clean air. Right, let's see if we can drop these two and catch up to the cars ahead. Looks like Pierre still in the lead. Bottas P3, Hamilton P2. Let's push and see what kind of pace you have left in these tyres. On for a personal best, pushing hard here as we set a new fastest lap of the race. Seems like the race pace is a different story to Saturday. Seems like we may actually have pace to win this race. Right, let's keep going. We've managed to drop Verstappen out of the 1 second window. This is good, and I've still got a bit of life in these tyres yet. Oh, okay, Bottas and Gasly pit. Hamilton stays out for one more. So Hamilton shouldn't be too far away. Gasly goes for the hard tyre. I'm assuming Bottas will do the same. Russell pits as well.
George is coming in for his stop.
This is where our strategy could help us. We're going to, of course, go for the medium tyre, so I'm confident that my pace on this tyre right now on the soft is still strong enough to be faster than a fresh set of hards. So let's keep going here. And there we go, Lewis pits, so we're going to take the lead in the race. Will Verstappen and Albon pit though? That's the question. No, Verstappen stays out. Albon does pit though. Interesting. I've just had a look and my left-sided tyres are on the limit. They were on 105 through the middle sector. They've managed to cool down a little bit now, but I'm definitely on the cusp in terms of tyre, overheating. Tyre weather looks good. I'm quite in control. The ultimate tyre upgrade we did over the winter has really made a difference to our car. We're able to be competitive for much longer in the stints. And yeah, we're going to go all the way to lap 16 before we box for the medium. So we're looking pretty decent right now. Tyre wear is great. Look at that. Absolutely insane. Uh-oh. That's not good. Second warning. Going to have to be careful now for the rest of the race. Oh boy, that was close. Mamma mia. That was on the limit. My tyre's going to be overheating after that. Let's stay on the left rear. 107. Not good. Oh boy. And there's the penalty. Just trying too hard, to be honest. Silly mistake to make. Right. First one of the season. Right, we're going to pit this lap. Mixed emotions, really. Did a good job with the pace and the tyres, but didn't do a good job with the penalty. So here we go, into the pit lane. Going to need a nice quick stop from the boys. Medium tyres at the ready. A fresh set. Quick stop, please. There we go, 2.5. There goes Hamilton, and there goes Gasly and Bottas. We're going to rejoin in a P4 with the medium tyre advantage. Right, so everyone's going to the end, and the task for this stint is to try and overtake the 3 cars ahead of us and get a 3-second gap. Sounds like a challenge to me. Let's jump into it. Right, we've caught up to the cars ahead. I'm just outside of DRS, but it's going to be a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix as Gasly and Bottas start to battle away. Should be on the back of them at the end of the lap. Got a full bar of ERS to deploy, but it's going to be difficult to get by here. Similar situation to the overtake before on Stroll. Bottas locks up into turn 1 though. Trying to look for a cutback, but not quite able to find anything. Of course, we have the grip advantage of the mediums, which we can try and use. And we're going to see if I can force Bottas into an error. Yellow flag on the other side of the track, and that probably will be a safety car as we usually get in this career mode. And there we go. There is a safety car. Okay, interesting. That's going to spice up the restart, but an opportunity for us. If I can time the restart, we could get Bottas straight away, which would be good. Okay, safety car in this lap. We're going to have a little bit more time to get some tyre warm up here on this little straight. And that's it, we're going to have to just send it and see if we can get Bottas here. This restart has to be good if we want to try and leapfrog Valtteri. So let's see. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. And there we go. Floor it. Go, 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 go. Great timing on this. Down the inside of Valtteri, we're going to have to grip on the mediums over the cold hard tyres. And just like that, up to P3. Lovely stuff using the restart to our advantage. Let's see if we can get Gasly ASAP as well. The AI, of course, are going to be running full power for the next 2 laps, so it's going to be tough to get any moves done. We may just have to wait until DRS happens. It's probably best actually if that is the case, and Hamilton and Gasly kind of separate themselves and, you know, split apart. That way Gasly has no DRS and it'll be easy to pass. Hamilton fastest lap, 109.2. DRS now enabled. This should be the recipe for success to hopefully pass Pierre Gasly. Uh-oh, another warning. Getting a bit scruffy this race. We definitely don't want 6 seconds worth of time penalties. That could potentially ruin our race. Let's see if I can get Gasly on our pit straight. Okay, we're perfectly placed here. Just going to drain the entire battery to try and get this moved on. Here we go, in the slipstream of Pierre. Down towards turn 1 we go. To the inside. Slow down. Nice, cut off the inside, beautiful. Okay, P2, let's go after Lewis and see if we can get one more place and take the lead in the race. This is going to be a new personal best, I think. Will it be? Yes, it is, and we take back the fastest lap. Alright, let's go after Lewis. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pushing too hard. I'm struggling to catch Hamilton right now. Pace isn't all there. May have to just focus on trying to get a 3-second gap to the cars behind. Well, I can't match Hamilton's pace right now. We set a new fastest lap using a bit more ERS. I'm not even confident we're going to actually keep the fastest lap, to be fair. I don't think we can win the race though. I think Hamilton's a bit too fast right now at his current pace. I'm just going to drain the battery here. Hamilton's too fast, I can't catch him. I'm just going to use the rest of the ERS to see if I can improve my fastest lap, which I do, into the 108s. That's the best I can do now. So yeah, we're just going to bring home the 2nd place and hopefully a fastest lap. Oh, Esteban Ocon out of the race. 2nd retirement of the race here today, but no safety car or VSC. Well, here we are then, lap 36. Last lap of the race. I'm just cruising now in a low engine rev. Hamilton's going to win here today and make up for a bit of a poor first race. Of course, for us, we won the first race, so this is just purely damage limitation and a decent recovery from P4 and eventually P6 on lap 1. Hamilton gets the fastest lap, but still P2, good points with a time penalty.
A difficult race then on a circuit that demands complete concentration, but they've persevered to take the win here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
There we go then, confirmation of the race results here today. Hamilton with the W and the fastest lap. We finished in 2nd place, and fair play to Lewis. I couldn't touch him, he was too fast here today and I just couldn't lay a glove on him. We do secure though the P2 with the time penalty, so a good recovery and a good stint on the mediums to make sure we secure that 2nd place. Bottas actually finished his P3 ahead of Gasly, so he got him right at the end. Albon P5 in the 2nd Red Bull ahead of Max Verstappen in the 1st of the Ferraris in his home Grand Prix. Leclerc P7, Russell in the points in P8, Stroll and Perez round out the top 10. Outside of the points, Daniel Ricciardo, Nick De Vries, of course, who was the surprise performer in round 1. Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Kevin Magnussen, Matsushita, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, with Ocon and Kvyat joining them out of the points and out of the race. In the standings, though, we keep the lead, of course, heading into round 3, and we're 15 points clear of Lewis Hamilton and 23 clear of Albon. George, with that points finish, moves up to P12. So, yeah, both cars in the top 12 in the championship. In terms of the constructors, we maintain our lead, but Mercedes just 4 points behind, and Red Bull 11 points behind. So things are getting tight at the top. Anyway, guys, that's it for the race here at Zandvoort. We're now going to move into the upgrades.
We all underestimated you, didn't we?
Well, I think you underestimated the team. I think we had a great couple of races so far. We've been strong over the winter and we're getting stronger and stronger, and that's the beauty of, you know, working as a unit.
So talk us through what happened between you and your rival today.
Well, I think we had a good bit of fun, I think, today. I have to admit, we didn't really have anything for Lewis. I tried to keep up with him, I tried to push him, and I just couldn't quite get within the DRS. I just wasn't able to get close enough. He just had a bit too much pace. So, yeah, you know what, fair play, and I think it's going to be a good show for the fans.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Well, as you can see with the rivalry, we managed to have a pretty decent weekend. Overall, Lewis got the edge, and that's absolutely fine. We also gain a little bit in driver acclaim, but we now move into the upgrades. Now, the next race is only in 3 days' time, so we don't really have time for any kind of upgrades, but we can plan ahead. Now, in terms of R&D, I've been mentioning before, I want to do some work on the control electronics, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and get this upgrade on the car. I'm also going to purchase this one here for the MG UK so that we can unlock the level 2 on the control electronics. So we're going to go ahead and purchase that one as well. That will leave us with 1,000 points, which should be just enough to go ahead and purchase a minor engine upgrade for the fuel efficiency. So let's go ahead and get that on the car as well. So no big performance upgrades. We're kind of at that stage now, and it's going to be about refining the car for the long term. And yeah, we go again in the next race in Spain. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it from me here today for today's episode of the Williams Road to Glory. If you enjoyed it, then leave a like, and hopefully you enjoyed it as much as the birds did outside. As always, shout out to the birds. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe for more daily F1 content, and if you haven't done so already, check out the 2 videos on your screen. And a big shout out to the members of the channel for supporting the content. But guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see all of you next time.